Hi, this is Helen Lane, the Instructional Design Librarian at the FIT Library, and in this video we are going to be covering ebooks that are in our collection and specifically how to link to them with persistent URLs. We receive our ebooks from multiple platforms and multiple vendors, and therefore it's really important to understand what each of them has to offer and also to know about universal ways that you can ensure that when you link to an ebook in a Blackboard course shell or in an email or document, that you are linking to a persistent URL, one that won't break, one that will work for your user, for your reader, for your students. So we're going to start here on the library's homepage. And one thing that I want to state straight away is that instead of going to our databases to search our various ebook databases that are available, in general, it makes more sense to start off with a search in OneSearch. This is because OneSearch is going to search all of our ebook platforms at the same time. OneSearch also provides its own persistent URL so that there is a universal way to link to all material. I'm going to begin with a simple search for a book that I know we have in ebook form. It's called Cast, and when we wait for this to load, that second link there, that second result, is the book itself. So we see that it's labeled a book, we have the title, and we see a link that says it's available online. Right here on this page, there's also a little icon that looks like a link, and this is a permalink to the record of the book. But let's go in and look at the record for the book so you can learn a little bit more about this type of ebook. So when we look at the record for the book, we can see there are multiple ways that we can share this particular record. And we see also that the record has a link to the book itself. So at this point, if all you wanted to do was email the fact that we have the book to somebody like a student, they would receive an email that would take them to this page, and then they would click on the Ebsco Host ebook link to log in with their FIT username and password. Also available at this level is a permalink. Once again, that would take the person who clicks on the link to this record, and then they would have to go through the next step. While this puts them one step away from the ebook, just like the email, you are certain to end up with an actual permalink, a stable URL. In other words, instead of a URL generated from a search or one that is fragile for some other reason. So this is a very good option. Click on permalink and you simply copy it to your clipboard and you're ready to paste it into any open document or website that you are building. Now I want to come down here to where it indicates that we can view this book online. View online, full text availability, a link to Ebsco Host eBooks. And there's also a note below here that says, please note this platform supports only one user at a time. Now, we have little control over how publishers wish to deliver their ebooks to libraries, and in some cases, these are the rules, these are the parameters, that only one user can be reading this book online at a given time. So if you are assigning this type of ebook, just keep that in mind and give students plenty of time to go in and use it and explain to them how it works. Now, if I click on this link, I will be taken to a screen where I'm asked to log in with my FIT username and password. This will be the same for students. I click on Submit, and I am in the ebook collection from Ebsco Host. Once again, I'm looking at a record for the book. To access the book itself, that's over here on the left-hand side. We see that there's an EPUB full-text version. This is for reading online. And the book will load and we can read it online. And there are some other options here, but a lot of these books that are only available to one user at a time have very, very limited and sometimes no actual permissions to allow you to print pages or save pages or download them. And students would just flip through the pages right here online. Okay, now one more thing before we leave this particular type of ebook. There is a permalink here as well. This can be copied. We want to highlight it first in this case, and then either hit Control-C or right-click and choose Copy. And this also can be copied into a Blackboard course shell. However, it is taking the students through the proxy to a database, to a book that only allows one reader. And I think for this type of ebook, it's more secure and it makes more sense, perhaps, to use the link that I showed you earlier, the link to the record in the library's catalog in OneSearch. Okay, so here we are back in OneSearch, and I've shown you one type of ebook. The next thing I want to do is show you another very popular platform for ebooks, and in this case it's the Fairchild ebooks from Bloomsbury Fashion. These books allow for multiple users, and they also offer a variety of ways to link to them. So I'm going to go in once again, this time with a known book. I'm going to search for the dynamics of fashion. So the book comes to the top of the list, and of course this was the textbook originally written by the late great Elaine Stone. This is the latest edition that we have, and it is available online as an ebook. Once again, all the same things we saw with the last one, a permalink here, and when I click to open the record, there's a chance to email it as well as create a permalink to the record. When we come down to View Online, full text availability is listed, and then there's simply a link to Bloomsbury Fairchild textbooks. There is no notification that this allows for multiple users, and that's simply because there's no need to alert people when it is just completely open to multiple simultaneous users. Now, Bloomsbury Fairchild Books, at this point, as with most of our databases, it's easier to access it in incognito mode. So instead of just clicking on this link, what we're going to do instead is right-click on the link and open it in an incognito window. If you're using Firefox, this will be called a private window. So while this problem persists of some of our databases, most of our databases being better in incognito mode, this is a really good trick to know. So I am going to click on the link and log in with my FIT username and password. And I am taken to the Bloomsbury Fashion Central database, and right now I am once again looking at a record for this ebook. Now, one thing that sometimes confuses students is that there is this little button over here that says buy this book, button/link. It says buy this book at bloomsbury.com. Ignore that. We wish it would go away, but it's there. And it's right now we can't do anything about it. So where is the book? Well, all you need to do is scroll down, and here is the book. Here is the ebook with all of the added multiple interactives like the video quizzes and the flashcards, and you click on each section and it opens up in a very readable manner. Now, the nice thing about the Bloomsbury and Fairchild textbooks is that you can link to an individual chapter. So I'm in this chapter called Century of Fashion, and all I have to do is click on this link that says share. And I don't want to share it any of these ways. I don't want to put it on Pinterest. They have so many ways to share, okay? So here's the tip. Just put in the words copy link, right? And that appears as a mode of sharing. So we're going to choose copy link, and then click copy. And now the link is copied to our clipboard, and we can paste a link to this particular chapter directly into our Blackboard course shell, into a document, into an email, and so forth. Now you can also link to the book itself. So Dynamics of Fashion, if I click on the title, takes us back to that page where we first landed. And we see once again there's a share button here, a share icon. And once again we just need to say copy link, and there it is, and we copy it, X out, and we can now paste a link directly to the book. So for the Fairchild books, just in review, 3 manners of accessing these books. One is with the permalink in the book record in OneSearch, and then different options once you arrive at the book, linking directly to the book in Bloomsbury as well as to individual chapters. Now, the next thing I want to do is talk about a third type of book that exists online. The other 2 examples sort of covered most of the general types of delivery of ebooks. But there's another popular series about textiles and textile technology and manufacturing that has a completely different mode of delivery. So for that, I'm actually going to show you that you can search for books by topic. And I'm sure that one of them will come up if I just put in the word eTextiles. And sure enough, this is what I'm looking for. This is the series that I'm looking for. This one too. I recognize their cover design. Okay. If I click on this, Smart Textiles and their applications, I can see that this is a book that is part of the Woodhead publishing series on textiles. And we received those books through Science Direct. Now we don't get everything from Science Direct, so it's indeed very difficult to go in through a database to access this. So the best way in is to come down to View Online. Okay, so once again, yes, there's the permalink, the email. That would send people to the record for the book. Both of these are ways to do that, once again. I'm going to go down to View Online, and I'm just going to click here to view full text because I want this particular book. There is a note. It's just saying you need to log in with your FIT username and password. And that's a message that you see as fairly standard for our journal publications. But this is indeed a book and not a journal. So as with Fairchild, it's not necessarily obvious where the book is, and you really have to scroll down. But the first thing I want to show you is that there is a permalink here as well. So share this book, and that would take people to this record. And if you scroll down, another aspect to these particular books is that each chapter is downloadable as a PDF. So that's a very different kind of delivery. And these books are not really the kind of thing that you would necessarily read cover to cover or assign cover to cover. You would be maybe asking students to read a chapter or to look in the Woodhead textile books for information for their research, and maybe different chapters for different students or different books for different projects. So yes, these are downloadable as individual chapters, and all you have to do is click there and you have a download.